Dante's Inferno, Canto number 4. A heavy peal of thunder came to waken me out of the stunning slumber that had bound me, startling me up as though rude hands had shaken me. I rose and cast my rested eyes around me, gazing intent to satisfy my wonder concerning the strange place wherein I found me. Hear truth. I stood on the steep brink whereunder runs the dolorous chasm of the pit, ringing with infinite groans like gathered thunder. Deep, dense, and by no faintest glimmer lit it lay, and though I strained my sight to find bottom, not one thing could I see in it. Down we must go, to that dark world and blind, the poet said, turning on me a bleak blanched face. I will go first, come thou behind. Then I, who had marked the colour of his cheek, how can I go, when even thou art white for fear, who art wont to cheer me when I am weak? But he, not so. The anguish infinite they suffer yonder paints my countenance with pity, which thou takest for a fright. Come, we have far to go, let us advance. So entering, he made me enter, where the pit's first circle makes circumference. We heard no loud complaint, no crying there, no sound of grief except the sound of sighing, quivering forever through the eternal air. Grief not for torment, but for loss, undying, by women, men, and children sighed for so, sorrowers thick-thronged, their sorrows multiplying. Then, my good guide, thou dost not ask me who these spirits are, said he, whom thou perceivest. Ere going further, I would have thee know. They sinned not, yet their merit lacked its chiefest fulfillment, lacking baptism, which is the gateway to the faith which thou believest. Or, living before Christendom, their knees paid not aright those tributes that belong to God, and I myself am one of these. For such defects alone, no other wrong, we are lost, yet only by this grief offended, that without hope we ever live and long. Grief smote my heart to think, as he thus ended, what souls I knew of great and sovereign virtue, who in that limbo dwelt suspended. Tell me, sir, tell me, master, I began, in hope some fresh assurance to be gleaning of our sin-conquering faith. Did any man by his self-merit or on any other leaning ever fare forth from hence and come to be among the blessed? He took my hidden meaning. When I was newly in this state, said he, I saw one come in majesty and awe, and on his head were crowns of victory. Our first father's spirit he did withdraw, and righteous Abel, Noah, who built the ark, Moses, who gave and who obeyed the law, King David, Abraham the patriarch, Israel with his father and generation, Rachel, for whom he did such deeds of mark, with many another of his chosen nation. These did he bless, and know that ere that day no human soul had ever seen salvation. While thus he spoke, we still made no delay, but passed the wood, the wood as 'twere, of souls ranged thick as trees. Being now some way, not far from where I'd slept, I saw appear a light, which overcame the shadowy face of gloom, and made a glowing hemisphere. 'Twas yet some distance on, yet I could trace so much as brought conviction to my heart that persons of great honour held that place. O thou that honourest every science and art, say, who are those whose honour gives them claim to different customs and a sphere apart? And he to me, their honourable name, still in thy world resounding as it does, wins here from heaven the favour due to fame. Meanwhile, I heard a voice that cried out thus, Honour the Most High Poet! His great shade which was departed is returned to us. It paused there, and was still, and lo, there made toward us 4 mighty shadows of the dead, who in their mien nor grief nor joy displayed. Mark well the first, my master said, who in his right hand bears a naked sword, and goes before the 3 as chief and head. Homer is he, the poet's sovereign lord. Next, Horace comes, the keen satirical, Ovid the 3rd, and Lucan afterward. Because I share with these that honourable grand title, the sole voice was heard to cry, they do me honour, and therein do well. Thus, in their school assembled, even I, looked on the lords of loftiest song, whose style o'er all the rest goes soaring eagle high. When they had talked together for a short while, they all with signs of welcome turned my way, which moved my master to kindly smile, and greater honour yet they did me. Yea, into their fellowship they deigned invite and make me 6th among such minds as they. So we moved slowly onward toward the light. In talk 'twere as unfitting to repeat here as to speak there was both fit and right. And presently we reached a noble seat, a castle girt with 7 high walls around, and moated with a goodly rivulet, over which we went as though upon dry ground. With those wise men I passed the 7-fold gate into a fresh green meadow, where we found persons with grave and tranquil eyes, and great authority in their carriage and attitude. We spoke but seldom, and in a voice sedate. So here we walked aside a little, and stood upon an open eminence, lit serene and clear, whence one and all might well be viewed. Plain in my sight, on the enamelled green, all those grand spirits were shown to me one by one. It thrills my heart to think what I have seen. I saw Electra, saw with her anon Hector, Aeneas, many a Trojan peer, and hawk-eyed Caesar in his habergeon. I saw Camilla, and bold Penthesilea on the other hand, Latinus on his throne beside Lavinia, his daughter dear, Brutus, by whom proud Tarquin was o'erthrown, Marcia, Cornelia, Julia, Lucrece, and I saw great Saladin, aloof, alone. Higher I raised my brows, and further scanned, and saw the master of the men who know, seated amid the philosophic band. All do him honour and deep reverence show. Socrates, Plato, in the nearest room to him, Diogenes, Thales, and Zeno, Democritus, who held that all things come by chance, Empedocles, Anaxagoras wise, and Heraclitus, him that wept for doom, Dioscorides, who named the qualities, Tully, and Orpheus, Linus, and thereby good Seneca, well skilled to moralize, Euclid, the geometrician, Ptolemy, Galen, Hippocrates, and Avicenne, Averroes, who made the commentary. Nay, but I tell not all that I saw then. The long theme drives me hard, and everywhere the wondrous truth outstrips my staggering pen. The group of 6 dwindles to 2. We fare forth a new way, I and my guide withal, out from that quiet to the quivering air, and reach a place where nothing shines at all.